to everything going on with Paige and the Bella Twins and Stephanie. That's great. She's kind of not, overshadowing what else is happening in the Divas division like she did in her original reign, which lasted over 295 days. A CM Punk reign for the Divas division, in my opinion, the CM Punk of the Divas. And it's only now that fans are starting to realize the engagement of her and CM Punk and the fact that she is the CM Punk of the Divas division by chanting CM Punk every time AJ is in the ring. And that's really taking away from AJ. And that's why I don't see AJ being the one to take the title off of Paige now, because the CM Punk chants are taking away from everything that AJ represents as a diva. If fans weren't chanting CM Punk because of her engagement to CM Punk and her friendship with CM Punk, I would understand the logic of AJ winning the title a third time. But having AJ be a three-time champion this fast would be kind of pointless, and the fact that fans are chanting CM Punk, wanting to see Punk more than they are AJ now, it really takes away momentum from AJ. And the fact that she was a former champion and the only former champion right now of recency, because it's been forever since one of the Bella Twins held the championship, I don't see her winning the title. If anyone wins it in this Fatal 4-Way, it's going to be one of the Bella Twins, and the most obvious one to do that will be Nikki Bella before something else happens in the Divas division. Where will Paige go after losing the title? I really don't know, but Paige has done a great job as Divas champion, and she's a very deserving Divas champion. If you're going to change up the Divas division, you couldn't have changed it up any more effectively than by having Paige as the Divas champion. And if you don't believe me, all you have to do is go on YouTube and pull up some of Paige's NXT matches with the likes of Summer Rae. Summer Rae versus Paige is a great perspective on what the Divas division in WWE should be about more often. We should see more competition in the Divas division. And these matches that Paige gave us before being signed by WWE for Raw and SmackDown to be Divas champion is a great representation of what the Divas division should be, and really puts into perspective for you just how good of a wrestler Paige is. And that's why Paige can easily have at least a 5 to 6 month reign as Divas champion before losing the title to someone like Nikki Bella or someone like Stephanie McMahon, who obviously will be a future Divas champion, because she'll probably realize that she's the only one good enough to hold the Divas championship and represent the Divas division like Triple H did all those years as WWE and World Heavyweight Champion. That could possibly happen and be bestowed in the minds of Stephanie McMahon, and that could lead up to the Authority being taken out of the positions that they're in by Vince McMahon or even John Laurinaitis, who I'd go for making a full-time return as the Raw or SmackDown general manager, or in some position of power in WWE, probably the executive of talent relations like he originally was back in 2011 when he made his debut for the first time in years back on WWE television, and then went on to be appointed as the interim Raw general manager by Vince McMahon. Something like that could happen, and with Stephanie being Divas champion, that could lead up to the Authority being taken out of their position of power. Everything is tying in so significantly well now in the WWE, and it all goes to every division. It all is credited to every division that is really pulling together and doing everything they can to tie everything in significantly well in WWE. Even everything happening in the Divas division is leading up to something happening big with the Authority. It's awesome. It surprises me that they didn't have Paige be the diva in the Authority that represents the Authority for the Divas because of Paige's gimmick now, but they went with Nikki Bella, and I guess that was a great decision in their minds. It was, because it changed things up for the Bella Twins. I was tired of seeing the Bella Twins in tag team matches always losing to people they were putting over in the Divas division, always losing to teams like Paige and AJ, which really didn't benefit the Bella Twins. You would have expected the Bella Twins to be winning matches promoting Total Divas, and they weren't. They were just putting over people like Paige and AJ to try to get some attention on the competition in the Divas division that was happening outside of Total Divas. And I was really expecting the Bella Twins to get some momentum, but at least now the Bella Twins are getting the attention they deserve now as singles competitors rather than being tag team competitors. And only good things can happen now from the Bella Twins separating, because now they can focus on their singles careers and make names for themselves outside of being a tag team, which we have seen for years. And that really was what led to the release of the Bella Twins a few years ago when they were fired and they quit on Monday Night Raw shortly after competing on the same show that they were fired on backstage. WWE made the announcement of the Bella Twins being fired, and I think what led to that was the fact that there was no creativity being put forth for the Bella Twins. They were just involved in a storyline, a love angle with a wrestler they were fighting over, or who was the better Raw or SmackDown general manager. It was really irritable when you saw so much talent coming from the Bella Twins and nothing was being done with the Bella Twins. This is the first really creative storyline we have seen the Bella Twins in years, and I hope they really run with the idea of Nikki Bella betraying her sister because she believed that Brie Bella had taken everything away from her in past years of their friendship and their relationship as sisters over the years. So it's awesome that they're trying to do something with the Bella Twins creative for what feels like the first time in forever and what we've been waiting to see for forever. I always wanted Nikki Bella to get a chance. I always wanted Nikki Bella to have the same kind of opportunity presented to her that Brie Bella had presented to her the many times she challenged previously for the Divas title and the times that she won the Divas Championship. They rewarded Brie Bella a little bit too early in her career, in my opinion, and it really overshadowed the ability of Nikki Bella. So hopefully, after Nikki Bella held the Divas Championship for just 6 days and lost it 6 days after winning it, whatever the hell happened there, hopefully after now being given a meaningful reign for her first reign as Divas Champion, when Nikki Bella eventually wins the title, whenever that is going to be, probably as early as Night of Champions, hopefully then Nikki Bella in her second reign as Divas Champion will be given what she deserves, a long reign as Divas Champion. If it's not going to be about Paige or AJ anymore, hopefully Nikki will get a long reign as Divas Champion thanks to the authority and Stephanie believing in her ability. I really appreciate this friendship that's come of all that happened at SummerSlam between Stephanie and Nikki Bella, because only good things can happen for Nikki Bella, something that we've been waiting for forever, like a lot of wrestling fans and fans of Nikki Bella probably have been, because I know there are fans of Brie Bella out there and there are just as many fans of Nikki Bella out there, and it's got to be frustrating for the Nikki Bella fans out there because you want to see Nikki Bella get just as much given to her as Brie Bella has been given to her in earlier years of her career. It's all been about Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan's engagement and getting married. It's just frustrating when it's just about one Bella twin, and that seems to be what it's been about for the Bella Twins for forever. Why isn't it about John Cena and Nikki Bella? Why isn't Nikki Bella involved in storylines with John Cena? Obviously because John Cena is a far bigger name than Nikki Bella ever will be in her entire career. Between now and the time Nikki Bella retires from professional wrestling, she will never be as big of a name as what John Cena is, unless she becomes involved in storylines with John Cena soon enough and remains involved in storylines with John Cena. But I think momentum would be taken away from both Nikki and John if they were involved in storylines. One would overshadow the other, and definitely John Cena would overshadow Nikki Bella, and that would really ruin Nikki Bella. And that's why we see Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan working together, because they both need their assistance when Daniel Bryan is champion or Brie Bella is champion to get the other one over. John Cena does not need Nikki Bella, and right now Nikki Bella may need John Cena, but it would really ruin Nikki Bella's character to have her involved and caught up in a storyline with John Cena. I'd go for it once or twice, but I don't know if I'd go for it all the time. I'd preferably like to see what's going on with Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan exposed in real life on television rather than seeing what's going on with John Cena and Nikki Bella, because none of them need the other one. Right now, Daniel and Brie need each other to get the other one over because of the popularity of both of these superstars not really being as high on the level of what WWE wants it to be. I mean, they're trying to get Daniel Bryan to a level of popularity like John Cena, and it's working because he's involved in storylines with all these superstars who are getting Daniel Bryan over. He's involved with the 3 members of Evolution. He's involved with Brie Bella. There are people helping Daniel Bryan. If not for that, Daniel Bryan probably wouldn't be as big of a superstar, injured or not, as what he is now. They need each other. John Cena and Nikki Bella don't need each other, and that's why Nikki Bella is focusing on what's happening with her within the Divas division. And I really, really appreciate what the other Divas are doing, even if it's time for Paige to cough up the Divas Championship. I really appreciated over the last few months what Paige has done for the Divas division. Herself and AJ gave us a few pure wrestling matches. I got what I wanted. I wanted to see pure wrestling matches between AJ and Paige, and we got it at SummerSlam. We got it on editions of Monday Night Raw. I really appreciated that because the first few matches of the AJ Page series were not pure wrestling matches. They were just gimmick matches. They were impromptu matches as they're put over in the WWE Divas division and WWE in its entirety. Impromptu matches that were just thrown our way, and they ended before they even got started. And I really wanted pure wrestling matches out of that, and we finally got it. So I really respect AJ and Page for coming through with my request as a columnist to see matches like Paige and AJ for the Divas Championship that were pure wrestling matches, because we really needed that. Because without pure wrestling matches for AJ and Paige, really it defeated the purpose of ever having this feud on television. I'd rather see Nikki versus Brie Bella all the time rather than seeing Paige versus AJ if we weren't going to get pure wrestling matches between the two, and we finally did. Impromptu matches were good, but they weren't good enough in my opinion. And if we're going to have impromptu matches, at least have something worthy to look forward to seeing coming out of these impromptu matches. And for a while there, it didn't seem like anything was coming out of the impromptu matches between AJ and Paige. Really, the only thing happening in the Deep Division was what's going on with the new season of Total Divas and the few new episodes that were being dropped. And apart from that, we have everybody teaming up now on Fandango and other wrestlers in the WWE Divas division. I really appreciate what Summer Rae's been doing for the Divas division. And if I had to predict someone who's going to really be an up-and-coming diva who's going to leave an impression in the WWE, it's either going to be Ava Marie or it's definitely going to be Summer Rae. I put over Summer Rae's WWE push a few weeks ago on this radio show for a previous video blog archive on this YouTube channel. I really think Summer Rae is going to be a force to be reckoned with, as the old saying goes, in the Deeps division in time. It might not be now, but Summer Rae is really skilled. She had great matches with Paige on NXT for the women's division every week. I look forward to finding out what they were going to do with Paige and Summer Rae, and I really hope that they do something with Summer Rae in the coming years in WWE. In my opinion, she is the substitute for Kelly, who is no longer there in WWE, and in time, she's really going to come into her own. She's going to develop her skills on NXT, and she's going to become one of the best, one of the top divas in the division. She is definitely a future Divas champion. But right now, that's what we have to look forward to in the Divas division, a possible fatal four-way match. Give me your predictions out of the four that will compete in this match. Are you going with Paige, AJ, or one of the Bella Twins to win the match or retain the title? What do you think will happen in this fatal four-way? And give me your thoughts on the possibility of Stephanie holding the Divas title for what would be the first time ever after previously holding the women's title in her career. Do you think that Stephanie will go on down in history to be the one to hold both the Divas and Women's Championships? That could happen because she's held the women's title before, and she has a lust for power in WWE, and she's sometimes described as power crazy. A few weeks ago here on this YouTube channel, I talked about the Authority being power crazy Stephanie and Triple H, and how outrageous they've been doing as a running Raw and SmackDown. It's been terrible how outrageously they've been running WWE in its entirety, and that could be what happens in the Divas division. Stephanie could be Divas champion, but I really hope that doesn't happen, because it really needs to be about the Divas division more so than it needs to be about someone like Stephanie, who's already been women's champion when you had such a fantastic roster of divas representing the WWE women's division. You had Lita, you had Trish Stratus, you had Stacy Keibler, you had Tori Wilson, and here you had Stephanie on top as your women's champion. I mean, where was the logic? What was the psychology about that? You know, what was interesting about that? There was really nothing interesting about Stephanie